Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Griswold. Every Sunday, I get the chance to bring you stories about the people and places that make Nebraska and Western Iowa such a unique and wonderful place to live. For the next half hour, we invite you to see why so many people are starting their Sunday mornings with a smile and sometimes a tug at their heartstrings. Tonight, some of our favorites, a sample of what we bring you every Sunday morning to start your week right.
I would look at it all the time, and just knowing like that's the baby that's inside me.
Dr. Cote is researching if these prints may have a medical benefit too.
Is it something more than just a novelty? And I think that we're going to see that it is.
I'd never in a million years thought that they'd actually take my suggestions.
We really like people that are enthusiastic about Sierra Nevada, enthusiastic about our beers.
We got contributions from authors and illustrators all over the world.
Project Open Book for us was a way for us to give back.
From 3 News Now and the Omaha World-Herald, this is Omaha Sunday Morning with Jennifer Griswold.
Thanks again for joining us for this special edition of Omaha Sunday Morning. One Iowa woman knows firsthand just how life-changing an organ donation can be. She knows because it saved her father's life. It allowed him to be there to walk her down the aisle on her wedding day, to meet his 9 grandchildren. It also inspired her to help others. 3 News Now photojournalist Stephanie Nolte shows you how 14 lives were changed thanks to her decision to give the gift of life with a kidney donation.
Tanya Downey's father, Jack, received a kidney and pancreas transplant in 1998.
When I asked him why he wanted a transplant, he stated that he just wanted to live. What a legacy his desire to live has created.
He lived another 19 years after his transplant, was able to live an active life, even meet his grandchildren.
I want everybody to consider donation. It's so important and so valuable for so many families.
Wanting to give back, Downey donated her kidney to a complete stranger, an act that started a chain of selflessness.
It just speaks to the generosity of the human spirit. And how people just acknowledge each other as humans and are willing to help each other out.
14 people were involved in this transplant chain, giving their kidney to a stranger so their loved one in need of a transplant could find a match.
Donor Sabrina Hughes and recipient Caleb Kunick. Catherine Agee, Christopher Hitt. Ann Smith, Scott Smith. Lynn Joy, Iva Bryant. Lori Beckwar, Patrick Beckwar. Sharon Morrill, Dylan Fritzen. Reed Peters, Tanya Downey.
He'd be really proud, and he was always so grateful for the gift he received, so I think this would be, amazing for him to see this too.
Stephanie Nolte, 3 News Now.
And how beautiful to see so many people helped by that. Nebraska Medicine says there are currently 100,000 people waiting for a kidney in the U.S. alone. A special unit on wheels makes sure those who put their lives on the line for our freedom get what they need later in life. We caught up with the Disabled American Veterans Service in Elkhorn. Their vets are provided counseling and allowed vets to file claims. Organizers say the goal is to make sure they get their proper benefits.
We're here to fulfill our promise to the men and women who served our country and their families, and we're happy to help. We'll do whatever we can to assist you.
The Mobile Veterans Clinic spent the week crisscrossing eastern Nebraska, ending in Fremont. Moms-to-be often love seeing their baby on ultrasound, and the technology keeps getting better. Now an area clinic is allowing patients to buy 3-dimensional prints of their babies before they're born. While moms say it's exciting, one doctor wonders if it might have even greater implications. Snug in his mama's tummy, this 3D printout.
He always does that. He just puts his hands together.
Shows baby Theodore cuddled up. Mom Christy Fleming saw his lips, nose, and eyes take shape even before he was here to hold in June.
I think any pregnant mom really wonders, what's my baby going to look like? Is he going to look like dad? Is he going to look like mom?
She and family members studied the mold image and felt attached to the little baby-to-be.
Just having that picture just on his shelf, I would look at it all the time. And you know, just knowing like that's the baby that's inside me.
It's pretty exciting from my standpoint as an OBGYN because we're just starting to get more and more into being able to utilize this technology.
Dr. John Cote is an OBGYN with CHI Health. Thanks to this 3D printer, Women's Health at Lakeside is offering patients 3D 4D ultrasounds for an extra charge. For $200, you also get a shadow box with a 3D printout of your little one. Dr. Cote is researching if these prints may have a medical benefit too.
Is it something more than just a novelty? And I think that we're going to see that it is.
This video from a few years ago shows a blind woman in Brazil feeling her baby's face before he was born. Dr. Cote says this 3D print of a baby with a cleft lip and palate allowed the family to understand how the baby would look. He recently published information on the case in the Journal of 3D Printing in Medicine. He's now studying if these printouts could help all moms and babies by improving attachment or bonding.
That impacts after they're born as well, decreasing depression potentially, increasing the chances that they'll be more healthy in the pregnancy, decreasing smoking, decreasing alcohol consumption.
Findings from the research may still be out, but the recommendation from this mom is clear.
It's always exciting to see the baby who is inside of your belly growing. It's really exciting.
Right now, this service is only available for purchase for patients at CHI Health. Husker fans know the love for the Big Red runs deep. When this special edition of Omaha Sunday Morning continues, we take you to a gallery in the Haymarket where Husker pride and history are on display thanks to the passion of one Husker superfan. He has been the talk of Husker country for months, from a small town in central Nebraska to big-time college football quarterback. Now, Husker head coach. Scott Frost made his big debut in a tough loss last week to Colorado, but fans are happy with the improvements they're already seeing and eager to see what the season holds. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Megan McGill now with a look back at Scott Frost's road home to Nebraska.
What do you have to say about Knights Nation?
I don't love this place. I love UCF and I love Orlando. Thank you.
Congratulations, Coach.
It gives me a great deal of pleasure at this time to introduce the 30th head football coach at the University of Nebraska, Scott Frost.
Words can't describe how much it means to me to be back here in a place that I love, a place that I understand, a place that I want to represent. I think this state is ready to see this place return to what it was. And like I said, that doesn't mean we're going to win every football game. But I want this program to be something that the people of this state can get behind and be proud of.
Scott will say the right thing, he'll do the right thing. He knows about this place, he knows what made it great, and he'll bring a lot of his own ideas. This isn't going to just be a throwback to 1997, but a lot of the things that were in play those previous 40-some years long ago still maintained today.
It was a hard decision for me because some of the players I was coaching down there are special to me. We built something special at UCF. It was an unbelievable victory and then really difficult task to tell them goodbye. When it came down to it, this is home, and I can't think anything more rewarding in my career than turning this place around.
I mean, it was at least 10 years ago I was telling people Scott Frost is going to be the head coach here someday because I knew that he was a special guy.
This is exactly, I think, what we needed, and I think this is what this school needed. Like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. People are gonna be excited.
I want to run out of this tunnel again in front of a bunch of fans that are going to cheer for us and applaud the other team and all the things that I love about Nebraska, and I'm looking forward to that.
Scott, how will you modify your system for the Big Ten?
I'm hoping the Big Ten has to modify their system for us.
Such a good answer. Husker Nation is fired up and ready for what they've dubbed a new era of Husker football. But one superfan is ready to take you back through every era, from Devaney to Osborne, Frazier to Gill. A passion for collecting has turned into a fan experience every Husker fan would enjoy. Omaha Sunday Morning visual journalist Brendan Sullivan takes us inside.
I started collecting in the early 80s when I was about 13 years old. The university used to have like garage sales where they'd take everything from the old equipment rooms and throw it out on picnic tables in the old Coliseum, and just go digging. And I'd have my mommy take me, and she bought my first jersey for me, and you're just kind of hooked. And it's the only thing I ever wanted. In my early 20s, mid 20s, I really got into it again, and really it's my passion. And it's not just a jersey or an award or whatever I get from guys. It's kind of the relationships I've begun to develop with these guys. It's fun for me to, like, the guys that were heroes for me when I was a kid, to be friends with them. And
I used to get so nervous when I meet guys like Ricky, so nervous, but then you just realize they're just kind of normal guys.
When they come in town, they come in here, and I think they appreciate it more than anyone else. Vintage Red, just to have a place to show off their stuff. It's not just about the item, it's about the relationship you develop, and the story behind the item. It's just stuff. I know it's just stuff, but when you have a great story of how you got it, or the player has a great story about the game, of why he kept this jersey, that makes it a little more special to me. And when I give the tours in here, I share all those stories, and it makes it, most people really enjoy it. Nebraska's unique because Nebraska football really bonds us all together.
And our producer said it's an awesome place to check out. Vintage Red Sports Gallery is in the Haymarket District in Lincoln. Stop in on a game day, and you might just run into some of your former Husker favorites. He's a man who needs little introduction in this state, a Husker legend who has left a mark that spans generations, still leaving young fans in awe, fans who were born long after he hung up his coaching shoes. I'm sure by now you figured out this next story is about Tom Osborne, but it has nothing to do with football or his coaching legacy, and everything to do with how he's inspiring kids to dream big just by helping with a simple homework assignment. 3 News Now reporter Maya Sines has the story.
Lights, camera, mic check. 8th graders Arnav Pockrell and Bryce Johnson look like pros in their middle school library, preparing for a big interview. A one-on-one interview with former Nebraska football coach, Dr. Tom Osborne.
Dr. Osborne, this is Arnav.
I'm Arnav.
He's the student who set
Nice to meet
everything
you.
up. How are you?
For a broadcasting class assignment, the boys were assigned to interview someone and film it.
Just filming him was absolutely amazing. Just seeing how he reacted to the questions and all that, it was just absolutely amazing.
Pockrell asked Osborne about his teammates' mentoring program, which is implemented in his middle school, and of course, new Nebraska football coach Scott Frost.
I was kind of nervous at first, but as I got used to it, it was an amazing experience.
Arnav came to me. This was after we interviewed Trev Alberts-Little. I'm like, okay, it's a new semester. What do you want to do for a news package this year? And he's like, I'll think about it. And then the next day, I think, he came back to me and he's like, I got an interview with Tom Osborne. Is that going to be okay? And I'm like, what? Is that going to be okay? Yeah, it will be.
Pockrell reached out to Osborne months ago, and Osborne told me he agreed to do it because he likes speaking to youth.
Really impressed with the questions asked, and obviously these guys are well prepared and have really thought it through.
The boys say they got the interview of a lifetime.
It made me think. It made me sweat a little bit.
And also a picture with the football legend.
Yeah, someday you'll be working for a big TV station, huh?
It's changed my perspective on how I see the news now, because we see all the things that have to happen, and all the things that you guys record, and it's definitely changed my view.
So cool. Osborne signed the paper where the boys had typed up their questions. That paper is framed and on the wall, along with the signatures of other interviewees in the broadcasting classroom. What was your favorite book as a child? Which one did you read again and again? Now imagine if you'd never gotten a chance to get lost in those pages. When Omaha Sunday Morning continues, we introduce you to a couple that's making sure that does not happen, that every kid gets a chance to own his or her special book. A good book can transport kids to a whole other world, one where a barn spider befriends a little pig and helps him become magnificent. Or a little llama in red pajamas learns bedtime isn't as scary as it seems. Or in my son's case, a curious monkey sometimes tests the patience of a man in a yellow hat. Young minds can gain so much just by opening a book. However, not all children have access to one of their own. But as Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Megan McGill shows us, one couple is working to change that.
There's a Yeti in my freezer with the same good taste as me.
Now the only trick I need is to make him disappear.
For Phil and Stacy Heisler, there's magic in a good book.
Holy cow, maybe this will clear things up.
The book you see here is actually theirs. Composed of 41 small poems, this book was no small undertaking. In fact, it took 7 years.
We got contributions from authors and illustrators all over the world.
The Heislers own a personalized children's book company called Marble Spark. At the same time that company was launched, so was their charity, Project Open Book.
Project Open Book for us was a way for us to give back.
The book titled The Yeti in My Freezer is not for sale. Instead, the couple is traveling around the Omaha area donating it. Betts Elementary is their 4th book drop so far.
They all agreed. Too bad they couldn't read.
They say reading to the kids is fun, but this part never gets old.
You get your very own copy of this book today.
Just knowing that we have provided that book for them for enjoyment and for learning is so great.
The school's principal feels the same way.
Some of our students don't have very many books of their own at home, and so this is a great opportunity for them to have a book, to take it home, to read it with their family.
The Heislers may not be able to reach all 13,000 kids now, but that isn't stopping them from trying to spread the magic, one book at a time.
Such a great cause. Currently, Marble Spark is paying for the printing and shipping costs of Project Open Book, but Stacy said if they can get the permission from the contributors to sell the Yeti in My Freezer, the proceeds would go toward more book drops. Our next story might just be the definition of a super fan. Sierra Nevada has been brewing beer for nearly 40 years. Chad Hinton lived near the brewery about 5 years ago when he fell in love with Flipside Red IPA. It went away and Hinton went into action. 3 News Now reporter Jake Wazakowski shows us how he got his beer back in hand.
You can drink it with dinner, you can drink it with dessert.
To call Chad Hinton of Bellevue a fan of Sierra Nevada's Flipside Red IPA would be an understatement. He calls it the perfect beer.
The right blend of malt and hops.
So when it went away 2 years ago, Hinton went on Facebook and posted, "Bring back Flipside," on every one of the company's posts more than 140 times.
The more that it went on, the more people saw it, the funnier it got for me and my friends.
Then Sierra Nevada breaks the news. Flipside is back in their 2018 variety packs. Hinton's post showed up all over the brewery and the video to commemorate the moment.
A little bit in disbelief at first, and I actually saw the video and I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it.
Sierra Nevada says they discuss new flavors and classics, but Hinton's persistence put Flipside over the top for the variety pack.
That's how we roll. Like we really like people that are enthusiastic about Sierra Nevada, enthusiastic about our beers. And I guess no one probably does it better than Chad.
Hinton immediately went to Hy-Vee and it was on the shelves. He says the first taste was like going down memory lane.
I had a good time with it and it was just fun for me. I'd never in a million years thought that they'd actually take my suggestions to heart. But you know, it shows a good company when they're loyal to their customer base and actually listen to their customers like that.
And that's some dedication by him. Sierra Nevada says people requested to bring back pretty much every beer they've created, even the obscure ones. They sent Chad some brews as well. They say everyone's a critic, and Omaha World-Herald editorial cartoonist Jeff Katurba knows that all too well. his take on hate mail when we come back. And finally this week, everyone is entitled to his or her opinion, right? But sometimes one can get a little carried away. The work of Omaha World-Herald editorial cartoonist Jeff Katurba sometimes draws in a little hate mail. He gives us his take on it.
I'm Jeff Katurba. I am the editorial cartoonist for the Omaha World-Herald. I get fan mail, wonderful emails, and lots of compliments on social media. Who doesn't love hearing nice things about one's work? I even get quirky fan mail like this from Rudy Watson. He's clipped out this cartoon I drew about Mark Zuckerberg regarding recent troubles at Facebook. Not only did Rudy write a nice letter, he made a few changes to my cartoon. I like mine scrambled. Not exactly sure what it means, but it made me laugh. But admit it, fan mail just isn't very interesting, is it? What you really want to hear about are all the awful things people say about me. Like this anonymous letter from Bakersfield, California. The person is upset with this cartoon about the poisoning of a Russian ex-spy and his daughter. Are you stupid, he writes. You believe Putin, Russia, did it? It's not just me who thinks so. Most of the Western world believes it. The kicker is where he writes, you are also so stupid, you think Oswald did it. It's not just my cartoon some people have taken issue with. I've heard lots of nice things about a column I wrote about how I fell in love with journalism. In the column, I even got personal and wrote about how I was inspired by my dad and my uncle. And yet, this person says, give us a break. Nobody cares except you, your friends, and your mama. No one cares. He ends with the word better left blurred out. Did I mention the letter was also anonymous? Look, I sign my cartoons and I'm always glad to engage with readers. In fact, just when it seems the world is all divided and angry, I firmly believe most of us can have a civil discussion about most any topic, no matter where we stand. So if you have a comment about one of my cartoons, even if you disagree, please reach out. But also, keep it clean.
Thanks for watching this special edition of Omaha Sunday Morning. We hope we'll have your Sunday morning cup of coffee with us this week at 7 a.m.